In 1951, a surgeon aboard a Navy warship cut a bullet out of a man's chest, inches from his heart. The man lived. There was just one problem. The surgeon had never been to medical school. He had never trained for this at all. His name was Ferdinand Waldo Demara, and he may be the greatest imposter who ever lived. Over 30 years, he became a dozen different people. None of them were real. Every single one fooled the experts. He was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts in 1921. A bright boy with a restless mind and a comfortable home. Then his father lost everything in the Depression, and something in him decided he would never be ordinary. At 16, he vanished. He ran away to join a monastery. He wanted to be holy, important, somebody. It didn't last. So he joined the army. Then he did something that would define his whole life. He borrowed a friend's name and simply walked away. He faked a suicide to cover the desertion. And Ferdinand Demara, the man, disappeared. In his place came whoever he needed to be. This was his weapon. He learned to steal the identities of real professionals. Doctors, scholars, men with letters after their names. He would write away for their credentials. Then he would become them. Demara had one rule that made it all work. The burden of proof, he said, is always on the accuser. People do not check. They assume. Find the empty chair where no one is in charge, and sit down in it like you belong. Authority, it turns out, is mostly confidence and a title. So he became a professor of psychology. He taught real students from a textbook one chapter ahead. He became a deputy sheriff. He became an assistant prison warden in Texas. And here is the strange part. He was good at it. He launched a rehabilitation program for the most dangerous inmates. It actually worked. But his masterpiece was still coming. He stole the identity of a Canadian doctor named Joseph Sear. And he talked his way onto a warship, the Cayuga, bound for the Korean War. Lieutenant Sir, the ship's surgeon, the only doctor on board, surrounded by men who trusted him with their lives. Then the wounded came. 3 badly hurt men were lifted onto the deck. One had a bullet lodged near his heart. Everyone turned to the surgeon. Demara had a choice: run, confess, or operate. He locked himself away with a medical textbook and gave himself a crash course in surgery. Hours later, he opened the man's chest. He found the bullet. He removed it. He closed the wound. Then he did it again and again. 16 men passed under his hands. Every one of them survived. And that was his fatal mistake. The story was simply too good. A proud Navy sent it to the press. The miracle doctor of the Cayuga. Back home, the real doctor's mother read the article. She did not recognize her son, because the man in the photograph was a stranger. The Navy was humiliated. But he had saved lives and harmed no one. So they quietly put him off the ship. No trial, no prison. Just a legend walking back into the crowd. Here is what should unsettle you. Demara rarely needed force or forgery alone. He used your assumptions. We obey the coat, the title, the confident voice. We rarely ask the one question that breaks the spell. Are you actually who you say you are? Ferdinand Demara pulled the oldest lever in the con artist's hand. Authority you never thought to check. This was Chapter 1. The greatest cons in history only get bolder from here.